Hello, this is Jace Fugate with another session of the Introduction to the Go Programming Language course. And so we're going to continue our discussion on functions. So as we talked before in the last two sessions, we're talking about multiple returns. We're talking about the returns of a function. And so this is a similar example, almost the same exact example that we've seen before. Then we have a function that takes two parameters, both of them being float64. You'll remember that we could have done this, but instead, because they're both float64s, we could omit the first float64 and just put that on the end. Well, here on the end, what we had before was this. We had two float64s. But we can actually give them named. These are called named returns. We can go ahead and instantiate a variable at the beginning of this function that says we are going to return these two variables and they're both of this type. If we wanted to do different types, we could do an int, but both are going to be float64s. And so we take the current price and subtract it from the previous price, set to change, same name as this. And then we have the percent change. We do the same equation that we were doing before. And then we return change and percent change. One thing that's really cool about this, in fact, let's just go ahead and run. Let's go ahead and run this. So just a second. So let's go ahead and cd into the correct package. Error fun. Okay. So go run. And so it says here that the price is decreased by 10,000, and that's a 10% of the previous price. So that works just fine. We could actually do this. We can remove the return completely. Apologize. You can remove the return, or keep the return, but remove the things that it returns. Because you've already declared at the beginning of the function, this is what it returns. It's going to return the change variable and the percent change variable. You notice here we didn't have to do var, or we're not doing var. We're not doing the short instantiation of a variable. I mean, we could have done this if we wanted to. We could do var change and then percent change. This is the same as what we have currently. And then change this to just say two floats. And then explicitly return change, percent change. We could have done that. But we can save ourselves some lines by just using named returns. I will give a warning with named returns. If you're using them on a really big function, or maybe a more complex function, you may forget what you're returning, or maybe there's going to be some the stuff in it that makes it a little bit not as clear as if you would have just explicitly returned specific variables. But again, this is a personal preference between you and or the team or the company that you're working with or for. So that's it. That's named returns. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you again.